We all know what the best thing about summer is. Reading lists. Maybe not. Hello friends, how's it going? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy summer! Today's my first official day of summer. It is exciting, so today I've put together a list of 50 books to read this summer, which is quite a lot. I thought I might as well put the list together, so I've got a few different categories. Let's just get right into it, shall we? The first one is basically like books that I would perceive to be as summary type reads, the TBR, so I guess I wouldn't really know, would I? The first several are romances. So first we have Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I've actually talked about this one on my channel before, and I've just heard incredible things about it. I don't read a lot of romances, so I thought it would be fun to give this one a try, considering I've heard, like I said, amazing things. Next up is The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. I've also heard good things about Beth O'Leary's book. I'm getting the sense that it's going to be sort of like a one bed trope, so we love that. Number 3 is One Last Stop by Casey Mcquisten. I pre-ordered this one and it's coming, actually I don't know, either June or July, but it's the same author that wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is right there. So if you enjoyed Red, White, and Royal Blue, I don't think I've ever met anyone who's read it who didn't love it. One Last Stop is a sapphic romance, takes place in New York City. What more could you want? We've got 2 more sapphic romances. Number 1 is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. I don't really know much about this one, but I've heard incredible things. I mean, really, why would I be putting it on my TBR if it wasn't? I haven't heard good things about it. The next one is If You Could Be Mine by Sarah Farzan. I also mentioned this one in, I think, my February romance TBR. This one is also sapphic and deals more with like being Muslim and conflict between religion and sexuality, I believe. And then we have a book that I have been kind of afraid to, oh, what is in here? What's in here? My library receipt. Anyway, The Song of Achilles. I know this one is super emotional, and everyone I've ever heard that has read it, it's made their heart shatter into a million pieces, so can't wait for that one. This one is kind of a mouthful. Let me try. I'll try to get it right. The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society? Yeah, got it right. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know what this one is about, to be honest. I think it's about like a group of gals who gets together, book club and pie type of thing, I think. But it sounds just like such nice summer vibes, and yeah, my friend Emily recommended it to me, so I thought I would check it out. It sounds very lovely. And then we have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I recently read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and like everybody else, I loved it, so I definitely want to read more of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. Oh, she's coming out with a new one this summer, I think, so maybe I'll be able to get my hands on that. The idea of reading a book about this made-up band just sounds so cool. And like 60s vibes, we love it. The next 2 are just like cute books I've heard of on Book Talk, I think. So the first one is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Is that correct? Yes. I think this one is like has LGBTQ plus representation, I believe. So that's always a plus. Okay, just sounds cute, and I've heard amazing things. Same with The House in the Cerulean Sea. The thing I always hear associated with this one is found family, so we love that. So I think that I will enjoy that one as well. I don't know, we'll see. Then we have The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I loved The Night Circus so much, so I think I want to read her other book as well. The way she describes things is just so magical, and we love a good little bit of magic. And then this one is a duology, but I just put it in one, which is the King of Scars duology, which is another book in the Grishaverse. So if you've never read anything in the Grishaverse, I would recommend probably starting with Shadow and Bone, but I read the entire Shadow and Bone trilogy. I read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I just started it today, which is exciting. 1000%. Nikolai is my favorite character in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, so I'm very much looking forward to reading an entire duology just focused on him as the main character. I love Nikolai so much. Then we have High Fidelity by Nick Hornby. They made, I'm pretty sure there's a Hulu series of this book starring Zoe Kravitz. I haven't seen it, but it looked good. And then we have The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. I feel like this is like a modern classic, and I just have to read it at some point, and I'm gonna have much more time this summer, so I figured why not do it now. I don't really actually know anything about the plot, but I know it's just such a classic, like everybody has to read it. And then we have American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I just feel like I would love Neil Gaiman's writing, and I've never read anything by him, so I picked American Gods because I have it already. That's basically it. I was just wanting to read anything by Neil Gaiman, so that is the one that made the list. And then we have Where the Crawdads Sing. I think I might be reading this for book club over the summer, but we'll see. I've just heard a lot of really great things about it, especially recently. We love a good book set in the South. Usually not, but I've heard great things about this one, so I thought it would be fun. I think there's also like sort of a darker element to it as well, which I always enjoy. And then the last one in this little summer reads category is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. And this one I've heard about for like several months now. I think it's about basically this black woman is in a grocery store with a white kid, and she gets arrested for kidnapping the kid even though she was the babysitter. That sounds super interesting. I don't know really anything beyond that, but it piques my interest, so I have added it to the list. My next little category is books that have a little bit of a darker twist, because we love that. I feel like I always want to read those books in fall, but I'm like, fall is so short, like I have to start now to prepare for fall. So anyway, number 1 is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I just hear people talk all about this on TikTok. I have no idea what it's about, and I think it's better that way because like some of these books are more like thrillery, I believe, and I don't want to know anything about it going in. So this is one of them, like people are just like shocked by it, so hopefully I will be as well. And on a similar vein, we have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I'm pretty sure Colleen Hoover is like a thriller writer, so yeah, I've just heard a lot about it on TikTok, so I thought it would be interesting to try it out. And then we have Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. I read Little Fires Everywhere, and that was one of the most, without a doubt, 5-star reads that I've read in a long time. Yeah, I think it's centers around a murder, but I don't know that it's actually a mystery, so we love a good murder book. I don't know what to tell you. Speaking of murder, the next one is One of Us is Lying. It's like the Breakfast Club type of thing, but one of the people gets killed, and then like all the other ones are suspects. I think that's what it is. So it sounds interesting to me. Then we have Wilder Girls, which I've heard described as the girl version of Lord of the Flies. I was not a big fan of Lord of the Flies, but I feel like having it be girls instead of guys is just like automatically more interesting. Then we have The Virgin Suicides. I have seen the movie, but I've never read the book, and it's on the Rory Gilmore reading list, so I figured I might as well check it off. I think it's pretty short. The story is probably, as you can tell by the title, incredibly depressing. I'd like to compare my viewing experience versus my reading experience. For a little horror sprinkled in there, I put in Cujo by Stephen King. I don't know. I just keep like giving Stephen King chances, and then I end up being disappointed. I really like The Shining, but I've also read Carrie and Misery, and I didn't really like either of those, so we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Cujo's about this scary dog. That's all I know about it. This one I know nothing about, but it sounds so fascinating to me. It's called My Sister the Serial Killer. How can that title not instantly interest you? I don't know what else to say about it. It just sounds so good. So hopefully it is. Next up we have The Lovely Bones. I have also read this one. No, seen the movie, and I kind of hated it. So basically it's about a girl who dies, and her ghost, I guess, like tries to solve her murder. It's really fascinating, really sad also. So I feel like that will be more tolerable for me in book form rather than movie form, hopefully. Then we have Bunny, which is, I think, like a dark academia type of thing. I think it's like a weird school cult type. I've heard mixed reviews on this one as well. I don't know if I'll like it or not, but I'm curious to try it. Then we have The Little Friend by Donna Tartt. I've read both of Donna Tartt's other books. This one I feel like no one ever talks about. Like The Goldfinch and The Secret History are super popular, but I've never really heard anyone talk about The Little Friend, and I think this one is also like a book that centers around a murder, but it's not actually like a murder mystery. I don't know. I find Donna Tartt's characters really fascinating, so I'm hoping that I will like this one. Alright, next up is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. The Hunting Party. Oh gosh, that was hard. I read that last fall and I really enjoyed it. The Hunting Party was super fascinating because it was a murder mystery. There's like a bunch of different perspectives and you don't even find out who died until close to the end. So you don't know who the murderer is or the victim. And I think The Guest List is a similar thing. Very excited. I love a good murder mystery. And then the last like darker book is called The Night Ocean by Paul Lafarge, which is about like basically H.P. Lovecraft Stan who like disappears, and I think it's like his disappearance, they're trying to figure out where he is, but it's also like interwoven with this weird H.P. Lovecraft type thing. It sounds very interesting to me. I don't know. I've never actually read H.P. Lovecraft before, but my next category is classics because I really love classics. Let's get into it. First up we have A Movable Feast by Ernest Hemingway. I've never read anything by Ernest Hemingway, and I feel like if I'm gonna keep hating on people who love Ernest Hemingway, I need to at least read something of his to like understand it. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I've been wanting to read this one for so long, and I feel like it might be a really good fall book. If you've read it, please let me know. Like a dude who just falls in love with a painting of himself. I think that's what it is about. Yeah, I've just heard it has really nice dark academia vibes, so I'm very much looking forward to it. I love gothic fiction. I think this one is. Then we have Candide by Voltaire. This one is very short. I don't actually know what it's about, to be honest with you, but I own it. And I read something else by Voltaire for a class last year that I enjoyed. So I was like, why not? Let's do it. Then we have The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I just feel like Sylvia Plath is such an iconic author, and like I feel like it's a very feminist stereotype to read Sylvia Plath, and I've never read anything by her, so I just have to. 1984 by George Orwell. I've read Fahrenheit 451. I've read Brave New World. I feel like I'm just missing out at this point. And then we have my queen, Jane Austen, Mansfield Park. I'm gonna be studying this one pretty closely next year, so I thought it would be good to at least have read it by the time that I start like really digging in. This is like one thing I actually like kind of have to read this summer, but I'm not complaining. I love Jane Austen. Next up, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. I have never read any of the Narnia books. I've seen the movies, or maybe I haven't seen all of them actually. But I feel like it's such an iconic story, like I just have to read it. Then we have, this was a giant library sticker on it, so I'm gonna try to cover it up. But A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. I really want to love Virginia Woolf so badly, and I've only read Mrs. Dalloway by her, and it was not my favorite. So I'm hoping that I like this one a little bit more. Alright, next up we have It Can't Happen Here by Sinclair Lewis. I was supposed to read this for school this past semester, but my professor changed the entire syllabus last minute. It's basically about like if a dictator took over the US. Feel like I for sure need to read this one. It feels a little too topical. Moving on. Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. I don't actually know what this one is about, but I read Beloved and I loved it. So I was like, well, gotta read more Toni Morrison. I'm sure I'll love it because we stand Toni Morrison. This one is probably the classic that I'm most excited for. It's more of a modern classic, bordering on not classic at all, but we have the Lilith's Brew Trilogy by Octavia Butler. I read the first one for a class, and this book has all three novels in it, so they're pretty short. Like, if you like sci-fi at all, read Octavia Butler. If you don't like sci-fi like me, read Octavia Butler. I don't know what to tell you. She's amazing. Oh, if you want to like know what it's about, basically this woman gets kidnapped by aliens, and she gets chosen by the aliens to like be an ambassador between them and humans. as the aliens are like trying to fix humanity, basically. It's very interesting. So good. Then we have the rest of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I just finished up The Fellowship of the Ring last night and it was so good, so I'm very excited to read the rest. I didn't think I would like it, to be honest with you, but here we are. Big fan. And then my last two classics are both like spiritual journey type things. First we have Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. I believe that is how you pronounce it. I don't actually know anything beyond the fact that it's a spiritual journey, like I said. And then the last one is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I don't know how similar those two are, honestly, but. And then the last little category we have is non-fiction. And the first one in this category is All the President's Men by Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward, which is about the breaking of Watergate in the Washington Post, I think. I just find the whole Watergate thing really interesting and I don't know why. That's like one of my random historical periods that I fixate on. Then we have It Takes a Village by Hillary Rodham Clinton. I just feel like her books would be so interesting. Like I watched that Hulu documentary series on her, which is fascinating. I would also just like to learn more about Hillary Clinton. I think she's an interesting person. I voted for her in the 2008 election when I was 7 at school, so that's all you gotta know. Then we have a memoir, which is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah's hilarious. We love Trevor Noah, and I think his book will be enlightening. Another memoir, In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. Okay, I had to second guess myself there. Yeah, I don't really know much about this. It's a memoir. I know that Kat from Paperback Dreams loves this book, and I think it's like sort of dark and sinister, which is always interesting. I think that might be from trauma, so don't really want to make light of that, but yeah, I'm excited to read this one. Alright guys, two more. First one is The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson. This is about like a serial killer, I don't remember which one, who was active during the 1904 Chicago World's Fair, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it just sounds super interesting to me. Okay, I don't know. My dad has it on his bookshelf and I've been eyeing it for a really long time, so I really want to get to it. Last but very much not least in this entire list is Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom. It just sounds so cute. I think it's about like Mitch Albom's experience spending his Tuesdays with this old man named Maury. It just sounds adorable. Very heartwarming and maybe sad? We'll see. Anyway, that's everything. Those are all 50 books that I would like to get read? That I would like to read this summer. Oh my gosh. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe because I would love to see your beautiful face here again next Sunday for another video. We've got a readathon vlog coming next week. Should be fun. Go do something nice for yourself today. Self-care is so important. Happy summer, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye!